Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video on CHA's YouTube channel. That's right, another video on CHA's YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Oh yes, and we are doing it. Doing it, bringing it to y'all. Oh my gosh, not just here, but on Patreon. We're back on Telegram with weekly messages at least. I mean, it's been wonderful getting back to business as usual. I realized that the Jezebel case study, when she launched her physical assault, she was hoping that that we would give up. No, and no. Because we know about radio frequency poisoning, and we know how the devil targets our health. We know how he does that through oxygen, and he also wants us to burn muscle. He wants us to lose our physical strength to become dependent on the matrix. And chosen ones, well, no, because we're dependent on God 100% because we know what's up. We know a lot of stuff out there is made up. Try to trick us into thinking we got something wrong with us when we don't. That's right. So, his name is Jesus. Glory be to God. Jesus is not just a helper, he's a healer. You gotta trust and believe. All right, everybody. Let's talk about it, because narcissists out here, they are the witches and warlocks that we come to learn about as we continue on in God's reality, the spiritual awakening. And we understand that narcissistic abuse is witchcraft itself. So, that being said, we also begin to get a better understanding about how everything that comes out of the mouth of a narcissist is supposed to traumatize you in some way, shape, or form. Well, when I say everything, let's say almost everything, because they are very negative. Narcissists are extremely negative. I got another video all about that on this channel. They are extremely negative. They will complain about everything. If there isn't anything to complain about, they're going to find something. Believe me, they will not make it through one day without complaining about something. Because remember, God tells us that we're to be thankful every day, giving daily thanks. Okay? That's right. Daily thanks. And in order to truly be thankful, you can't be complaining all the time. And that's what they do. And so anytime we get around, I mean, I know, listen, okay, recognizing the moot in our own eye, chosen one. Yeah, there was a time before we knew any better that we got sucked into some of the complaining too. Because we didn't realize that there really isn't anything to complain about. But I would tell you that as we grow and mature, a lot of us, even before God awakened us to narcissism, a lot of us, we just realized that, you know what? It is pointless to complain because that doesn't solve anything. Complaining does not solve one single thing. No. It does nothing but waste time. So when you think about it, you're like, okay, and then now that we know there's a demon of complaining, because it's a negative, well, it's a negative action. So here's some additional food for thought for everybody. I tell y'all a lot that demon spirits, you want to know how many there are, you have 1/3 fallen angels. Every negative emotion is a demon spirit. Well, you can also consider every negative action, like complaining, is a demon spirit. Yes. Procrastination, the demon of procrastination. Oh yeah, that's just another form of sloth, laziness. God tells us we are not to be lazy, okay? We're not to be slothful. And procrastination is a form of sloth. Somebody needed that one. A harsh truth, but yeah. And you're not alone, because yours truly had to overcome that as well. Yes, I sure did. Not about everything, but there were some things I would procrastinate about. Yeah, but we overcame. Like we overcome all. Just like Jesus overcame the world, chosen one, so do we. And it's one day at a time, one step at a time. As we start to learn more about narcissists and their witches and warlocks for the demonic realm. The matrix is the demonic realm. And I said, oh man, You know, when God revealed that to me, I said it makes sense, because every time we get out there and navigate through that matrix to get what God needs us to have to do His perfect will, it just becomes more clear. Things that are on the billboards, yeah, subliminal messaging on the buses used for public transportation. I mean, it's no wonder so much garbage got in our subconscious mind. So now here we are in the spiritual awakening, needing to purge that subconscious because we got to make more room for God's wisdom and get all that subliminal messaging out, and it takes a little while. But we see how these narcissists are witches and warlocks, and they will sit there and, you know, chosen one can't fathom how anybody would do this, but they sit there and they actually will plot. They will spend the time to plot, you know, revenge or whatever it is that they want to do to their targets. They literally spend the time, and that's spiritual wickedness in high places right there. That is spiritual wickedness in high places. And I said, oh, wow. Yeah, and see, chosen ones, we don't have that. We don't have that. So narcissists are the witches and warlocks in the demonic realm. And they are on assignment from the devil, trying to steal, kill, and destroy whoever or whomever and whatever they possibly can, because they are destructive. Narcissists are very, very destructive. And they're very destructive to their human hosts. Because remember, we refer to the narcissist, as the abusers, as narcissists to keep things simple. But in the spiritual, the truth is the narcissists are actually the demon spirits, all those negative emotions and negative action. Okay? But for simplicity, because we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, we go ahead and we refer to the biological being who's demonically possessed. See, I've said that before too. I tell y'all, narcissists are demonically possessed biological beings. But we will, and we do that. We tell y'all that it's just a fancier way to put it, because they're not human. I mean, they don't have humility. They don't have a genuine heart. They don't have good in them. No, they can only give off the appearance of being good. Right, because of an audience. They want to put on a show. They want you to think that they're truly good when deep down they're not, and they know it. They know it. It's just they don't want to admit it to themselves. They don't want to take the time to self-reflect. Narcissists will never admit that they're wrong. They'll never genuinely apologize. They might apologize, but you can catch that it's fake, because they themselves are fake. So when we hear on TikTok and elsewhere, you know, there are a lot more people coming around to they're saying, oh my gosh, there's that moment when you realize that there's a bunch of fake people out here in the world. Well, yeah, they're called narcissists for a reason. They don't have self-identity. They don't have anything of their own as far as sense of self. And they become the witches and warlocks, carrying out all different agendas of the devil, which become the same over time. We recognize patterns, okay? And it's nothing new under the sun. And so you can see that the devil has no new tricks. He wants to keep on trying everything that used to work in the past. I teach that a lot for a reason, because it's true. And when you realize that, you let that sink in, you go, oh, okay. So the devil's just trying to do this again because it once worked in the past. You see? So we don't allow them in our space where possible. Witches and warlocks is what they are. Narcissists are the witches and warlocks. For the demonic realm, the demonic realm is full of evil. And think about the chants, and then think about certain songs, and you think about other types of things that appear mystical. Okay, well, that's all part of the witchcraft. Okay, if it appears mystical and it feels, oh my gosh, like this feels like a fairy tale, well, that's what the devil wants you to think. That's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. And it's a way to keep people hypnotized. Think about that. Yeah, I've had some people ask me if hypnosis is a good way to heal from trauma, and that's a big no. No. Because it's through hypnosis that demonic spirits can get a foothold in your mind. Pay attention. Because when we see the narcissist glued to the vision, vision, okay, we see the narcissist glued to it, they are literally hypnotized. And so many of us learn this in the rabbit hole, and it's true that if you try to carry out a conversation with someone who is hypnotized by the vision, yeah, you're not going to get anywhere with that. They're not going to hear you. And yours truly has experienced that. They look at you with that blank look. Like, what are you talking about? They don't have a clue that they themselves are hypnotized. And they are hypnotized, meaning brainwashed, to carry out all the witchcraft, which makes them witches and warlocks for the demonic realm. And all that narcissistic abuse, the gaslighting, the cycle of narcissistic abuse, right? Love bomb, deval, discard, hoover, that's all part of the witchcraft. It's all part of the witchcraft. The trauma bonding process itself is also part of the witchcraft. So that makes sense when you go, oh, hold on a second. It's not just Ouija boards and seances and stuff like that. It's not just that. It's everything involved in narcissism and narcissistic abuse, the traumatization, everything involved in it is part of the witchcraft. So what the narcissists do when they play head games, that's witchcraft. That makes them a witch. So were we once witches and warlocks chosen one? Not necessarily. We were, however, sometimes darkness before we knew better. We are told that in Ephesians, alright, in the book of Ephesians, we're told we are sometimes darkness, but now we walk as the children of light. After we've done a self-reflection, recognizing the moot in our own eyes, holding ourselves accountable, and saying, okay, we are responsible for our own action, we are responsible for our own burden, we are responsible for our healing, and all of that, and you gotta want to. And once you start the healing process and you realize that this is a real spiritual battle that we're in, you understand better what God means by the fact that we don't wrestle against that flesh and blood. Okay, because the witches and warlocks are the narcissists in the demonic realm. So for anybody who was wondering, who are the witches and warlocks? Narcissists. That is who they are. So keep that in mind going forward. Nothing to be afraid of, because in Isaiah 54:17, we're reminded that no weapon formed against thee shall prosper. Remember that. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. No. Because Jesus defeated the devil on our behalf. Another reason why we're told, do not fear, be not afraid. The devil's just a little toddler, just like narcissists, toddlers in adult bodies who are witches and warlocks in the demonic realm. Nothing to be afraid of, but you learn how to fight in the spiritual. Put the spiritual armor of God on and thwart those fiery darts of the wicked, and watch 1,000 fall by thy side, 10,000 by thy right hand. Glory be to God. That's in Psalm chapter 91. For anybody who wants that homework, there you go. For additional information, insight, and other great stuff, you can check out these videos right here. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, we'll show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.